Independence Day. I was trying to show you a picture of the flag since I took a picture of it this morning at 5:30 in the morning. Sunrise was coming up and the flag was there, so I thought this would be a great place to start. And this is my cousin Lori and Mike. They are out walking all the time, so I thought they would be the perfect people to do my very first walk and talk with. Now, I'm not wearing sunglasses, so you will see me squint an awful lot. And I also can't see reading very well, so if you're leaving a comment and I'm not answering you, it's just because I don't see what you're saying yet, but I will check it out later. So, our topic for today, being that it is Independence Day, I thought we could talk about how having independence and freedom affects our mental health, our physical well-being, and just our life in general, specifically here in the United States. So I was thinking, my first thought when I thought about how does freedom affect my workouts or being able to do what I want to do, and my very first thought was when I was pregnant for the first time, and I still taught classes and worked out and did everything I wanted to do at 9 months pregnant. And once that baby came out, it was a whole different story. Now I couldn't do what I wanted to do, I couldn't work out, and now 35 years later, they're grown up and I have a special needs dog who requires all of my attention. But on the flip side, he requires a lot of walking, so I'm walking more than I normally would be doing. So, Mike, we were talking about nutrition and the fact that here, definitely in the United States, but specifically where we are, New Jersey, New York, the whole metropolitan area, we can go into a store that's open 24 hours, whether it's for coffee, a snack. But specifically, what were you saying about...
So it used to be if you were on a special diet or eating program, you know, even like in the 2010s, if you were vegan or if you were doing low carb or low fat or whatever, low sugar.
Or gluten-free.
Or gluten-free, right?
Hi.
Exactly.
There were not a lot of options for you. You had to go to specialized stores and things like that. Right. Now it's all over the place. You stop at Quick Check, you could buy gluten-free stuff, you could buy low-carb stuff, you could buy vegan stuff, you know, soy milk is in the 7-Eleven now, where that was never the case before. And I think that's a consequence, A, of these diets becoming more popular now, but also because we have such an abundance in this country, you know, it allows for that flexibility, which I think is great. You eat the way you want to eat, and you have these options available to you.
Exactly. When we this Walmart came into Secaucus, we lost all of our supermarkets, so it became a super Walmart. And I've been vegan for, I don't know, I think it's about 18 years now. And it was much harder then than it is now. You can pretty much go into any grocery store and get something, if not almost everything I need. And that Walmart had absolutely nothing. They didn't even have plant-based milk at the time, and now I go in there and I could find vegan cheese, tofu. Guardian is one of the brands that has plant-based products, but they also have good produce and any other things that you might need.
ShopRite will have, like, say, the non-dairy yogurt, which years ago you had to go to a special store for. Now you can buy it at pretty much any supermarket in the area.
Yeah.
Right, you can also buy food from all, you know, whatever your ethnic background is.
Correct. We
They
have
yeah. Or your religion.
Right, right. We actually have a brand new, I think it's called Grocery Square, a brand new market in town, which right now we are in Secaucus, for those of you wondering where we're walking. And I also apologize, I realized my volume wasn't up. I don't know if you were hearing us in the beginning. If you did miss the beginning, it's Independence Day, so our topic is how does having independence and freedom affect your affect your well-being, your health, your fitness, just the ability to, or the lack thereof. Maybe you're somewhere else and don't have those liberties. So that's what we're talking about. And yeah, so back to the nutrition part and the opportunities of the different markets and stores and the availability to get pretty much everything you need. Gluten-free, so many people now have gluten-free and peanut allergies, which growing up, I didn't know one person who had it. Although I did recently, I'm not sure how true it is, but that a big part of the peanut allergies is not the peanut itself, but the way that they are stored in the containers that develops mold, and that the people are allergic to the mold, which is causing the peanut allergies. But don't quote me on that. I'm not a nutritionist. Anything I say here is just for fun and entertaining. And we're all out doing our walking. You could be in your house marching in place or on your bicycle with your earbuds. So wherever you are, hopefully you're feeling like you have some company here today. So what else? What other liberties and freedoms do we have? Anything from the peanut gallery? Hey, and if you're on there and you have suggestions or anything you want to comment about, feel free. I will come back and look at all the comments when I have my reading glasses on. If you're wondering where we are right now, that is the American Dream Mall. I can't really do too much of this without squinting badly, but this is where I'm always walking the dog. And beautiful path, which again, I have the liberty of coming out in the morning at 5:30, or sometimes it's still dark, and feeling pretty safe, like I'm not going to get, I don't know, mugged, kidnapped, or taken in for sex trafficking or anything else. Not that it's not possible, but I feel, no, that would be awful, and it's, unfortunately, it's happening all over the world, and that's a terrible thing. And those people absolutely have lost all of their freedom, all of their independence, and that's like a really serious topic that I have a hard time thinking about it, because I'm a very empathetic person. So when I actually think about bad things that are happening to people and animals, it makes me sick, and I lose sleep, and I obsess over it, which is why I became vegan in the first place. It's why I have a rescue dog who is almost impossible to take care of.
But I think safety is actually a big part of fitness, because if you don't feel safe outdoors, you can't jog, you can't walk, you can't bicycle. You know, if you feel like you have to be worried about your surroundings, looking over your shoulder all the time, and even though certainly we have areas here that are not safe, it's safer here than a lot of places. So I think that helps contribute as well.
Yes, exactly. And then another topic we were talking about, well, yeah, wait, let's see. Can I flip this? Let's see. Let me see if I can flip this. I don't want to lose us, though. Oh, no, don't do it. Don't do it. I'm going to lose it. No, cancel. Sorry. Let's see. Maybe we get these little puppies in there. Oh, awesome.
They're cute.
They're on their own program there. Yeah, that's another thing. You go into stores and it's like a puppy festival. People have their pets in there.
Even in the mall, you can walk
The mall, yeah. I mean, my dog, that would never happen. But, you know, if your dog is hypoallergenic and it's minds its manners and doesn't attack people or pee on the floor, I don't see what the problem is. I do think there should be some restrictions, only because if it's like a very hairy dog, you know, some people could be extremely allergic, and they shouldn't have to go into a store worrying that they're going to have a severe reaction. But that's another topic. I'm sure somebody will scream at me for that one. But
well, you know, everybody has some sort of allergy, and it's a shame, but there's so many people in the world, and a lot of people have an allergy to something. So you just have to be understanding of what people may be going through in their own lives regarding that type of thing. As you know, both of our children had the peanut allergies.
Yeah.
So,
And now they don't even serve them on planes or in schools and stuff because, it's not worth the risk of having somebody have an anaphylactic reaction because the person next to them is eating a peanut. It's just not worth the risk. You could eat your peanuts later. We were also talking about if you could go right, we could literally see Empire State Building from where we are. We're that close to New York City, and we do go into the city on occasion. I used to go a lot more frequently. And if you go right into Times Square, you can see people walking around in a thong, topless, half naked, spray painted, or just generally holding up a sign that is promoting what their beliefs are, or maybe they're protesting something they don't want. And that's part of our freedom to do that, to express
I think it's a thing we don't appreciate as much as we should, because even if you don't agree with what they're protesting for, you and they both have the right to do that. And if you're not being arrested or thrown into psychotherapy or be shut up, you have that freedom here, which is great.
Yeah, exactly. In other country, you could be literally shot down in the street for doing something like that, just for speaking out against what your country is telling you you're allowed to believe in, or your religion. The fact that I can go on here and say, yes, I am Christian, die hard, I'm very involved with my Christian church, Church Alive, shout out, yay. But, I'm surrounded by a community of all different nations and religions, and I respect their views and their right to pray to whatever God they feel is their God, whatever. Yeah, yes. Again, it's all about the freedom of speech and the right to live hopefully peacefully. That's where the problem is, when people do not respect other people's space or their beliefs.
It's so easy to be kind. Just everybody should be kind to each other and respect each other's beliefs.
You can
No
believe
judgment.
what you want to believe,
Right.
but you don't have to judge people. You
No
don't have to be
judgment.
out there about, this hate speech that we have going on all over the place.
Yes.
Not to bring this down into that. I know we didn't want to go there, but
No, but it's part of it. It's part of it, yeah.
But
And
like Lori said, just let people be what they want to be if it's not bothering you.
You want to turn around? Because we're going to get sun in our eyes
Yeah, and do
again.
you want to
Yeah.
stretch?
Yes, so we're going to wind this down and find a little bench. If you have a chair, if you're in the house, if you're walking and there happens to be a step, a bench or something, I'm just going to show you really quickly a couple of little exercises that you could do if you wanted to add it into your normal walking routine. Normally if I'm out and I don't have the dog and I don't have this big selfie stick, which by the way, today's my first day using it, so if it's too wobbly, please put that in the comment. I'm trying to walk like I'm on a balance beam and hold it like the Statue of Liberty, if you can only see
Yes.
right now.
Yeah, you do
I
look
do
like
like the Statue of Liberty. Oh, and I also have to show, first of all, let's get a picture of my shirt. Okay, this is my proud USAF, proud U.S. Air Force mom. And they will hold this while I show you a couple of exercises you can do as soon as we get to our first bench. And you can add that into your regime or regiment, however you would like to say. Any other things you'd like to discuss about freedom? Oh, yes. We were also talking about having injuries. Right now, Mike's having a little bit of a knee issue, and I know that they love going out walking all the time. So that is another restriction that maybe, you know, when you're younger and you're healthy, you take for granted that you could just run and do box jumps and all these crazy sports and adventurous things that are fun when you're young, but then you don't think about it.
As you get older, you have these health issues, you know, and they limit your freedom, not because of the area you live in or anything of that sort, but just because of the restrictions of your own body, you know. So now when I walk, I have to plan a little bit more carefully. Is there a bench? Is it too hot? Is it too cold, you know?
Right, and I guaranteed him we'd pass a bench, and we passed 5 of them and didn't stop because we were too chatty. But we have hit our first bench. Mike will take a little seat. I'm going to do a little exercise, and Lori, you can hold this. Yes, let's see. We're right there, so we see the bench in view without the garbage can. All right.
You got it?
Yep. Okay. So one of the things that I do is if I find a bench, I'll stop. Now I don't do full push-ups for my own reasons, but modified we can do here. You can do partial the way. And if you're not noticing, I got stars and stripes on my butt right now. Another thing that I do sometimes, maybe I'll walk a few minutes or a little jog and do some dips for the back of the arms. You could do really easy, close to the bench. You could go a little harder, or you could even take one over the top, and that makes it even more difficult. Okay, that would
What's
be
the
for
best way to
arms.
do it for somebody who doesn't normally do that?
If you normally don't
How to
do
start
that, you
out.
stay really close so that if you get stuck, you can slide right back down. So the closer your feet are to the bench, the easier it is because you're using your legs. As you
Okay.
go out, the weight is shifting a little bit more evenly onto the arms, and here is taking the weight a little bit more onto the arms. And another one for your abdomen, if you sit on the edge of the bench, I do this with all my clients, if you're watching, you know, keep your butt here, round your back so you don't hurt your spine. Just grab on wherever you can, and you could just do one leg at a time to help strengthen the upper leg, your hip flexors. As you get stronger, you could do 2. But if you start arching your back, you're going to kill your back, so don't do it. Go back to the singles. And then for you people that have been doing it for a while, and for the diehards out there like, yeah, what the heck is she doing? Yeah, that's just another option. So, all right, with that, let's just do a little stretch. Maybe we can go in the shade over here. Let's see if that would work better. I think this is pretty good because we don't have sun in our eyes. All right, we good?
Yes.
All right, so after walking, let's see. Okay, I think that's good. After walking, you should stretch your hamstrings and your calves. So I'll just turn this way so you can see. If you step this heel back, make sure you're pressing your heel, you're stretching your calf. Maybe stretch forward a little bit, try to get your hips forward without lifting your heel. And then a lot of people can't do this. So another option is if you just tuck your hips under, you're automatically feeling the stretch. And just as far down as you can go, you're going to get the same stretch here without having to lift your leg. Okay? And you could also, for your hamstrings, keep your toes forward, step back, sit your weight back onto this leg, and this straight leg is going to get a good stretch for the back of the leg. Okay, obviously we would do both sides, but we don't need to right now for time's sake. Feet apart, you could grab your elbows, take a little side bend. Sometimes my back gets really tight.
A little bit.
Hi, how are you? Good. I think your wife's probably on there right now. Maybe. Marie, we just saw your husband.
Yeah, she don't like the bike ride.
See, she doesn't like the bike ride, but she's got the freedom to stay home, walk in place, and watch us right now. Happy Independence Day.